Thanks for being with us tonight, Congressman. Special coverage here on News Nation. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Blake. And yeah, an exciting day in Washington, D.C. for sure. A little drama, but all's well that ends well.
All right, so a little drama, as you put it. You specifically were one of the, call it 10 or dozen or so that we were watching. You weren't committed as a Republican to Mike Johnson leading into this. What was the tipping point for you?
Well, Blake, we don't have coronations in the United States of America. And just like I run for office every 2 years and I have to earn that vote, Speaker's no different. He has to earn the vote of the members that he serves. And let's face it, the last 15 months of his speakership haven't been markedly different than any of this, Paul Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, or John Boehner for that matter.
So why are you hopeful for the next 15 or 24 months? It takes a little more than just promises.
Well, I think it's going to be a little different, obviously, with the president there. And of course, we understand the president has an agenda, and we didn't want to, in deference to the president, we don't want to hold up the certification or his agenda. And we got certain assurances, although, we told the speaker that we're going to be watching very, very closely. But we got assurances that he plans on moving the original Trump agenda, and that's what we want to do. So when it comes to things like that, it's not me that he's going to have to worry about. It's a whole lot of other people in our party, and quite honestly, all the Democrats. So he's got his work cut out for him on that. And as long as he sticks to the president's original agenda, I think we're going to be fine.
So I want to drill down on that. What assurances were you given, Congressman, and were you promised anything?
Well, no, we don't do the quid pro quo thing around here. But what we did promise Speaker Johnson is there's going to be accountability if there's continued failures. Remember, he's the one that told us there wasn't going to be any more CRs. There wasn't going to be a Christmas omnibus. He was going to support repealing FISA so the federal government stopped spying on Americans. Of course, none of those things happened. So, but I will tell you that, if we get off track, people like me intend to keep our promise. We're going to hold people accountable in Washington, D.C. The American people are crying out for change. They want the swamp to end, and that's what's got to happen.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, Congressman, but what I'm taking away from you is obviously you voted for Mike Johnson today, but it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're saying if he runs the House in ways that you and your other colleagues within the House Freedom Caucus do not like, do not see fit, do not approve of, do you come after his job at some point, even if he's backed by Donald Trump?
Well, look, I don't want his job, but I will tell you this. There's got to be accountability for every single one of us, and it's not just the Freedom Caucus. There are many members of the Republican conference that aren't thrilled about the last 15 months under his leadership. And now, we're going to give him some deference because President Trump is there and because we have a Republican Senate. But let's face it, he's going to have to negotiate with folks like Lisa Murkowski, who's also a Republican, but not a very conservative member, or Susan Collins. If he decides to side with them as opposed to the Trump agenda, there are going to be problems. And we hope that's not the case, but we're going to give him an opportunity.
So I remember, I was at the White House, Congressman, every day, basically, the Trump administration. I remember 2017. Repeal and replace Obamacare didn't happen. Tax reform did, and infrastructure did not. And as I sit here and I listen to you, Congressman Perry, if there are Republicans out there who are listening to this, would you assure them that Trump's agenda on the border and on taxes gets through? Because I'm hearing a little bit of, it seems like you think some of this could be an uphill battle.
Well, I think a lot of it's going to be an uphill battle. If we're talking about Trump's agenda on taxes or the border and cutting spending, you can count on me. And the president knows he can count on me, but I'm not sure some of my colleagues are going to be there. I will tell you, when we talk about the border, we're already hearing discussions about amnesty in a trade for securing the border. That's not what President Trump promised. That's not what the American people want. That's not something I'm interested in voting for.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. Who specifically, Congressman, when you talk about the border and what the president wants to put forward, who are you concerned about?
Well, that's the point. This is the Speaker's job to navigate a pretty diverse conference, and we appreciate everybody's opinion, but he wanted the job. He's got to make sure that the president's agenda, as it stood during the campaign, is the one that is passed, not some concoction of one that the moderates and the liberals take apart and add all kinds of things to. That's what we're concerned about, and quite honestly, that's what we've seen for the last 15 months. So those are kind of the examples, and the Speaker's got that job. He wanted it, he's got it. Let's see how he does.
Congressman Scott Perry, it's been a very busy day. I know you still have some work to do up there on the Hill. We thank you for being with us tonight. Our special coverage, News Nation Politics, powered by the Hill. Thank you, sir.